Brian Friedman just dropped a legal bombshell.
You know, like anyone else who would be going through a situation where you're accused of something that you did not do and are suffering in a public way, I think it's it's distressful, to say the least.
And no one saw this coming.
Where sometimes people judge you before they give you a chance. Thank you very much.
Picture this. Blake Lively, not in a courtroom, but on the stand at Madison Square Garden, with tickets sold to the public and the whole thing live streamed.
To begin with, though, Baldonis' lawyer wants Blake Lively to testify live at the MSG.
At Madison Square Garden, the hottest place on earth.
It sounds wild, but that's exactly what Friedman jokingly proposed.
This is Brian Friedman playing chess, right? Because her lawyers came out and said, yeah, she brought a serious sexual harassment claim, and of course she plans to testify.
Right.
And Brian Friedman said, oh, that's wonderful. We should live stream it.
And while it may seem outrageous, the purpose behind it is deadly serious.
It's no surprise I've had like a pretty intense year, and like what I can say without going too into it is that this year has been full of the highest highs and the lowest lows of my life. So many women around afraid to speak, especially right now, afraid to share their experiences, and fear is by design. It's what keeps us silent.
He says all proceeds would go to support domestic violence survivors.
We should donate the proceeds from all the money this will generate to domestic violence survivors. Wouldn't that be wonderful, Blake?
This all ties back to the explosive fallout surrounding It Ends With Us, directed by Justin Baldoni and starring Blake Lively.
The reason to put the information out there is just because of who he is. It's the truth. And the reality is that, had there been these horrible things and had there been these horrible text messages, had there been this horrible information, that stuff would have been put out there too.
Friedman represents Baldoni, and he's coming in swinging against Lively's legal team, calling her out for failing to support victims while allegedly manipulating the public narrative to her advantage.
I have so much to say about the last 2 years of my life, but tonight is not the forum. She is a survivor of the worst crime someone can commit against a woman.
Now, Lively's team is pushing back hard. On Thursday, her attorney, Gottlieb, spoke to People magazine, essentially saying Friedman's tactics are overblown and irrelevant. He claimed it was unnecessary to involve other celebrities like Taylor Swift and Ryan Reynolds in the case, warning that it could create a media circus if the trial turned into a celebrity parade.
These are the happy endings that we must see as women and girls. We can make it to the end alive, physically or emotionally. Never underestimate a woman's ability to endure pain.
According to Lively's team, just because someone is famous doesn't mean their testimony is needed. But Friedman fired right back, arguing that the truth shouldn't be treated as a distraction, even if it's uncomfortable for Blake.
He's feeling like you would feel. If you were wrongfully accused of something, you'd feel pretty devastated. And he's looking for justice. Let's hope that, Justin gets some justice today.
Lively and those close to her. He insists the facts are backed up by receipts, documents, and real-life footage, evidence that he claims is irrefutable.
We plan to release every single text messages between the two of them. We want the truth to be out there. We want the documents to be out there. We want people to make their determination based on receipt. Put them on a website for the world to see. Have them see the truth and determine the truth for themselves.
He also alleges that Lively deliberately brought her celebrity friends into this mess and is now trying to shield them from scrutiny. One major accusation, that Ryan Reynolds used his Deadpool character to mock Baldoni, and that Disney may have been complicit by allowing company resources to fuel a personal grudge.
Sorry about that. Come here, girl.
Who are you? Oh, I'm Deadpool. And I guess you're Deadpool too. But in here, everybody calls me Nice Pool. Oh my goodness, wait till you see Lady Pool. She is gorgeous. She just had a baby too, and can't even tell. I don't think you're supposed to say that. That's okay. I identify as a feminist. Right.
What I make of that is that if your wife is sexually harassed, you don't make fun of Justin Baldoni. You don't make fun of the situation. You take it very seriously.
Friedman doesn't stop there. He says if Disney was aware of this, it could open them up to serious scrutiny. Blake's lawyer, meanwhile, is trying to steer the focus back on the real issue. He maintains that the trial should center on Lively's claims of misconduct on the It Ends With Us set, and not get bogged down by media theatrics. Gottlieb says Blake will testify, something that was surprisingly up in the air for a while. But if she's really the victim here, why wouldn't she testify? That's the big good question many are asking. Her legal team insists they have witnesses who will back up Lively's claims about what happened on set, though strangely, these witnesses haven't come forward yet. According to Gottlieb, their testimony will be heard live during the trial. But here's the weird part. Why hold back now if that evidence could push for a settlement or dismissal? It doesn't add up. They also claim Sony chose Blake's cut of the movie for distribution and that it's been a huge success. But what they're not saying is how she influenced Sony's decision. Friedman's camp believes she used manipulation, possibly even blackmail, to control the final cut. No surprise that her lawyers aren't exactly eager to touch that. In a fiery statement, another spokesperson for Lively claimed that attacking her is just a desperate attempt to discredit a woman standing up for herself. They framed it as classic victim blaming, saying the strategy will fail. But Friedman is unmoved. He says this is all just more spin from a team trying to dodge accountability. Lively's team also accused Baldonis' side of subpoenaing celebrities purely for media attention, but Friedman insists that the subpoenas serve a legitimate purpose: to expose the truth and unravel Lively's inner circle's influence on the case. He confirmed that Baldoni will absolutely testify, bringing his side of the story to court. And then there's the matter of bots. Yes, bots. A social media expert claimed that 80% of tweets supporting Baldoni were from fake accounts. But then someone took a look at Ryan Reynolds' Instagram followers and found that many appeared suspicious too. Accounts with no posts, no followers, and barely any activity. So who's really using bots? Interestingly, Reynolds' engagement on Instagram has taken a nosedive. He used to pull in millions of likes. Now it's down to 30,000 or 40,000. Celebrities no longer comment on his posts, not even Hugh Jackman. Reynolds has shifted his focus entirely to his soccer team Wrexham, which makes sense. Wrexham fans don't care about Hollywood drama, they care about soccer. That shift might also be strategic. Reynolds hasn't posted about his recent travels to Germany, possibly to avoid paparazzi and keep his movements private. But if he's flying private every week, as some suspect, that raises questions about his UN sustainability pledge. He supposedly signed it on behalf of Wrexham, not himself, which allows him to bypass the eco-friendly expectations he publicly supports. Even Blake Lively's interview with Seth Meyers turned controversial.
What I can say without going too into it is that this year has been full of the highest highs and the lowest lows of my life, and I see so many women around afraid to speak, especially right now, afraid to share their experiences, and fear is by design. It's what keeps us silent. But I also acknowledge that many people don't have the opportunity to speak. So I do feel fortunate that I've been able to. And it's the women who have had the ability to use their voice that's kept me strong and you know, helped me in my belief and my fight for the world to be safer for women and
The
girls.
comments on her segment were turned off, so viewers flocked to a totally unrelated video on Meyers' channel to vent their frustrations. Over 1,300 comments about Lively ended up on a news clip about Trump and Jeff Bezos. That's how intense the backlash has become. So where does this all lead? Brian Friedman seems dead set on making Blake Lively answer publicly for her role in this tangled mess. Her legal team wants to keep it behind closed doors, but Friedman believes the court and the public deserve to hear the full story. This legal drama escalates. One thing is clear: Blake Lively, Justin Baldoni, Ryan Reynolds, and even Disney might all be dragged into the spotlight whether they like it or not, with live testimony, hidden evidence, and accusations flying in at every direction. The truth might just come out in court or maybe even at Madison Square Garden. Stay tuned, this case is only getting messier.